How's it going, agents of the world? Hey, this is Sean and Blanca, and we're a husband and wife team. We work together, we do business together, and it is crazy. Life plus doing business together is a wild ride. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to have a breakthrough in your real estate career and in your life. Your marriage really is what it's all about, right? Relationships. So I want to just dive right in because I think one of the hugest obstacles that agents have is this real estate industry we're in, right? So there's all these options, and if you look at my screen here, we have so many positions where you can be in real estate. There's the team member, kind of the lowest person on the totem pole, right? They're beginners, and we're going to dive into each of these really quick. And I just want to go through because a lot of things in life are kind of where you're positioned, right? So if you're positioned in the wrong area and you're overwhelmed, or you're in over your head and there's too much on your plate, then things can be very difficult with your marriage. So it's very important that we kind of go through these blocks real quick and talk about them because they tie together with, there's three things we're going to talk about that really kind of helps you get a breakthrough in your life. And then there's three things in business that I think are really, really important that nobody talks about. These days, everyone's just talking about like, okay, what's the lowest split, or what's the company I should work with? They're basing their decisions just based on very common, generic things, but there's much more to it. It's more of a philosophy, what we like to talk about. And so let's just dive in. And so, like I said, team member, if you're a little team member, you're a junior agent, you're on a team, you have high splits, you're not really branding yourself, not a lot of control over your career. You're kind of like the boots on the ground and doing the heavy lifting for the team. Your team lead is doing managing and doing all the back end business, and you're putting your time in. So that's kind of a tough place to be. Of course, your goal is to graduate and become a solo agent, right? So a solo agent, they're getting a better split. They have more control over their career. They have more experience, and this is when you start putting in the major hours. So we're looking at the cons. Now you're doing everything, right? You've got all the expenses. If you don't sell a closed one month, you're in trouble. You have to produce all your leads. Brokers are not just handing out leads anymore. Like when you were on a team, you could get leads. Now you have to produce the leads. Big shift, right? You're originating all the deals. You're building the database. You're becoming a really good networker. You're becoming essentially a media company. A social media company. You have to do your videos, live videos. So you have now stepped up the game. And now, if you don't sell, you don't hustle. Real estate is a street hustle. All right. It's not a business. Businesses create money. Sales positions, you just have to hustle and close. Otherwise you don't do it, right? Moving on, maybe you wanted to be a team leader. So eventually, let's say you get your own team, because everyone says, well, you got to build a team, right? Well, there's nothing wrong with a team except just kind of, you get a lot more expenses. The good thing is that you can leverage your team a little bit. So if you have a buyer's agent, that can take some of the weight off. So there's a lot of good things. You can make more money because you're now leveraging. You're getting a little bit more. Hopefully you have a big sphere. And then the cons, though, in my opinion, when you're on just being in a team and being a team leader, the negatives kind of start mounting up, in my opinion, okay, because we've been doing this now for a while. And, the responsibility of your team, you have to generate all the leads. It's a never-ending sales cycle, so if you're not getting every opportunity to close, it's a real problem. And your team relies on you. You're not just a salesperson anymore. You're a leader. You have to be a coach. You have to be building your team up. Otherwise, why would they stay with you, right? You have to offer value. And so, unfortunately, if you really learn about what happens in real estate is that people burn out. And then I can tell my wife burnt out back in the recession. That's why I came in the business and helped her out. And so anyway, guys, real estate, you can make some great money, but at the same time, it is a really tough business. So the other thing that nobody talks about when you become a team leader is that you have to build these people up. You have to help them out. Your agents, you have to make sure that they're successful. Well, when they are successful, why would they just remain on a low split? They're going to go and become their own agent. And so you've just built up someone. They left your company. Now you've given your broker a skilled agent so that he can now take all the money. Guys, this is what I hate about this industry. This is why we were looking for a solution. It didn't go with our values. So I'm going to keep showing you the way. Independent broker or franchise, you could start, or no, large team would be your next one. So a bigger team, basically it's like a small team, except you just have huge marketing expenses. You have to hire staff, and it's just getting your foot, digging yourself a bigger hole, right? Because if you, let's say you build a team and then all of a sudden the economy slips, well, now you have all this overhead. Who's going to have to go back out into the field and then pick up the slack? That would be you. And so there's tons of stuff we can talk about with a large team. We just didn't want to lose our culture, because if we built a large team and then had a bunch of agents around interacting with our clients, and we're not interacting with the clients, we've lost our culture. We have essentially became managers or miniature brokers, and we just didn't want to do that. So again, same thing though, if you build, your team will turn over, they'll leave, go somewhere else. And that was always kind of a downer. Independent brokers or indies, that's a huge risk. Of course, you'll be able to brand yourself. So it's nice to be able to brand yourself. You can have finally start building a business. But guys, with today's market, on how many agents are moving around in the industry, that's the last thing I would want to do, is to open up some independent brokerage and then take all that risk on right now. And then mega brokers too, guys. If you're at a mega broker, that's fine. But if you're the owner, those guys are bleeding out. Their office spaces are empty, and they're giving away office space, and they're paying their agents to stay. I mean, that's just a bad sign. So I wouldn't want to be there. Now, so then we have the question mark up here, and this is what we've discovered. We have discovered EXP. We fell into it on accident. We were traveling to North Carolina, and we learned about it. And we sat down and just paid attention, right? And it totally lined up with what we were trying to do in life. And so what I'm talking about, we're going to cover a couple things. I think with the 3 dots you see up in the middle, positioning, scalability, and leverage, those are what we think of when we want to be positioned with our business. The lower ones are what you need to have for a mindset to have success in real estate and be married. I think without them, very difficult. So we're going to go into each of these. Positioning, guys, it's just like a person who's not licensed who wants to go and make real estate commissions. You ever have people that send you business and they want money? It's like, no, get a license, right? Now in real estate here in EXP, we have access to not just commissions, but we have access to other things that other agents don't have in the industry. We are the only ones that are benefiting from revenue share, stock. We get all of our cap back. There's a lot of different things you have to learn about. Okay, so positioning is huge. Scalability, right? So I know there's other companies that are trying to scale, but they're doing it with a brick and mortar model. And honestly, most of their agents are coming over to EXP. So EXP is a virtual company, so we're able to open up in other markets, not having to drop thousands and millions on office space. So we're completely scaling, and we're going to be going internationally as well. So then we have leverage. And so everybody knows, if they read the book, The Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you're never going to get wealthy in life unless you start leveraging. And so even I have the cash flow right here. So you're either an E, well, in real estate, you're not an E, you're an S, right? You're an S, you're just out there hustling for your next commission, and you don't own anything, okay? As a real estate agent, you don't own anything. You are a sales position. B, a business owner, which we're able to do this in EXP because we actually have ownership in the company with stock, and we can build a revenue share. A revenue share will pay us even when we're not sitting out there selling homes. So it's a really awesome system. And then I, as the investor, we're positioned to get stock. I've been in for only a few months, and I've already got over 300 shares of stock, guys. And so all the awards and RE/MAX and all that crap that I used to get for production goals, that was meaningless. Now I actually have something to show for it in the form of stocks, and I'm just going to keep getting these every single year as we go. All right, it is super exciting. Now let's talk about the last 3 items. This is what really ties it all together for us, because without a mentality of an abundance and a boldness, guys, we're never going to succeed. And I have been just watching this industry. I've been watching how agents react to this new company, EXP. And honestly, guys, I see a lot of people who are fearful. They just want to play it safe. They're worried they won't make the same money. But you cannot succeed with your marriage, your relationships, or your business if you have a mentality of fear, right? You have to be able to see the world with abundance mindset, and you have to go after your dreams with boldness. Just like when Blanca and I met back in 1995, yeah, was it inconvenience? It was an inconvenient for me to go down and fly down and keep seeing her. But yeah, I wasn't going to let anyone stop me. And guys, we've been just doing that same pattern throughout the last 20 years. We've been married for 20 years, and we never let anyone get in our way, and we just don't make excuses. And so bold and abundance mentality has been really the driver for our success. And then I'll show you the other one. It's vision. And so as I was just saying, we met in 1995. I knew what I wanted when I saw Blanca. I went down there, and together we crafted our life. We've been doing it ever since with our kids, our marriage, our friends, who we associate with, our business, where we live, on and on, where we travel to. We are crafting this thing because we actually write it down. We actually go after these things and we chase our dreams. All right, so what's next? So for us, our vision, we're going to create a global real estate empire. And pretty bold statement, but I would not bet against us if I were you. Last thing that we have to have in order to succeed in relationships or in business, guys, is leadership. It is, I think, the most rare commodity of today is leadership. People who essentially don't make excuses and take responsibility for absolutely every aspect of their life, business, kids, everything, spirituality, your spouse, your kids, your mental. Can't get addicted to things these days. Addictions are on the rise. And so if you have a mentality of bold abundance with vision and leadership, guys, sky's the limit. And we believe that if you're in real estate, this company is the place to be because it allows for scalability, retention, and all these things we talked about in the video. So I want to just reach out, and if you guys ever wanted to talk to us about what's going on, we're looking for agents who want to partner with us who have the same types of goals. All right. If you're a little fearful in the beginning, that's okay. But talking to us and learning about the future, what we're going to be bringing to the future, guys, it's sky's the limit. So hey, check us out, SeanandBlanca.com, and we'll be in touch. See ya.